next goddess is going to be one that's going to make you go, what? I don't understand. How did you get her? Because you're a guy and she doesn't really go towards them like that. And it's Hera. And Hera leads towards working with me. At first, she came towards me on her own. Like, I didn't go towards her at all. Just at my where I was staying actually a year or two ago. Just sitting there, and then all of a sudden I just get this presence of just like, boy, who the heck was that? Then I turn, and then I kind of keep hearing like a very authoritative feminine voice telling me how noble and how respectful towards a commitment or a devotion that I've had. And she was pretty much giving that sense of gratitude and what's that word called? But pretty much is like giving like kudos or whatever. I know there's a better word I was trying to use, but I digress. And she was saying that, you seem to respect the boundary of like of a devotion and a commitment, and you understand that it's sacred. I would like to pretty much help you along your development. And at first I'm thinking, okay, who the heck is this? Then after a time I'm thinking, oh, Zeus's wife Hera. Well, I'm not going to say no to the queen, am I? Because that'd be stupid. So, that's when she came in. And I'm going to show you an image, well, not really an image, but like a statue that pretty much I made hers, and I've decorated. I don't have it with me because there's not no anywhere else to put it, and I had to make a space for her, but I'm limited on space. So, that's the image of her, and I know she looks pretty dolled up, because that's the point. When you work with a queen, you got to treat her like a queen. But to start, I'm going to start with let's see. We'll start with like the myths. Well, not there's a lot of them that she's involved in, but we'll just get like to some of the general ideas. Well, at first, Zeus is a brother. Brother. Zeus is a brother of Hera. Hades is a brother of Hera. Poseidon is a brother of Hera. And just like how Kronos went trump on all of them, yeah, she went too. And after when Zeus, got him out of there, Hera was being targeted by Zeus. So whoa, a big shocker there, because about usually 85% of the stuff that happens is because Zeus is like, I'm going to stick it in this one. And just like how it usually is in almost every tale, the mistress or the lad, poor lad, flees in terror from the excited guy on the cloud. And Zeus catches her, and as it happened, and Hera, being a goddess of marriage, women, the home, somewhat, but not as intense as Hestia, and pretty much that traditional marriage sense of devotion and royalty. So after when Zeus pulled that, in order for Hera to keep her sense of dignity, she decided to marry him. And as soon as they got married, Zeus went off being a two-timer again. Hera, catching this, notices it and did some backlash to him. I can't exactly remember what it was. I believe it was the story with Hypnos, like what I talked about in the story with Nyx. And Zeus retaliated against her by hanging her upside down by two anvils. And Hera vowed to never do anything towards him again if she was released from that, and he released her. And what did the two-timer do? Go all over the place. Hera being pretty much, well, people say she's jealous and a pretty aggressive and moody goddess and a divine. Well, here's the thing. Originally, at their marriage, everyone was invited, and everyone but one water naiad, I believe, the one that got turned into a turtle, was there and made it. So knowing that, this is how I perceive it. If you're at somebody's wedding and you have the groom a while later chasing after you, knowing that he is married to the wife. If you know that, and if you really do not make much of an effort to respect that, hey, I don't know what to tell you. You still violated that commitment thing. Zeus is still guilty too, but you played a part in it too, so you have to get it has to be balanced out in just desserts. And really, that's what Hera did. She paid consequence to the mistress or whoever poor soul Zeus got a hold of, and pretty much punished them for not respecting that boundary and not respecting that commitment those two made. It's not being jealous. That's not, no. That being jealous is seeing something that you don't have and you are baneful about it and you actually really cause harm. It's not going and, punishing somebody or making it known that, hey, that's, no, you're not breaking that boundary between a commitment. A commitment is a choice made by two, and if somebody doesn't respect that, there's no question. It's not baneful to actually be like, hey, back up. No, that's not baneful. That's protecting a traditional value and something that someone might really cherish. Being baneful is intentionally and knowingly with the intent to really harm someone. Hera, all she did was go towards those who did not respect that commitment and show others and them, hey, you're not going to do this. You're not going to make me look like a fool. You're not going to disrespect my marriage. You're not going to disrespect me altogether. As a queen of Olympus, how dare you? That's why she acted like that. Not because, you're getting stuck by my husband? Oh, okay. No, like, out of bounds. And usually, most of the time, when there's a children born at all, Hera did not like the children either, which would be an example like Apollo, Artemis, and Hercules as kind of a demi. Well, because the thing is with her, she's like, you were made outside my marriage and this disrespects me. They can't help it, but she's not favorable to those who disrespect her boundary and disrespect her marriage and her commitment. That's why she's like that. She's not baneful. While it's so easy to see it as baneful and jealous and negative, in reality, she's seeing it as something that is not respectful and considerate and understanding of a choice. So, let's see. I cannot remember which one was this one, but there was a mistress who went with Zeus. Hera, again, saw that and was not happy. Since she can't swing as Zeus, she goes towards that mistress to be, And this specific one, she pretty much made him not be able to close his eyes or go to sleep. I can't remember what this fiend was called. But Zeus gave it the ability to take his eyes out so I can rest. And Hera responded with, well, I'm going to make sure that, can keep this thing under control. So she creates this fiend, or pretty much a attendant, Argus, who's a monster covered in eyes. So one eye can be asleep and he can be resting, and the other one's awake. So that mistress, who now became a fiend, always has eyes on her. Argus was killed, and Hera, of course, was heartbroken. So she, to remember its service, that's when she took the carcass of the abomination and turned it to the peacock. And the peacock is very sacred to her for that reason. For having a attendant, despite having eyes all over the place, that was actually very compliant. Another story. Now, this one can go one of two ways. I've heard two ways of this one. There's the Hera that actually sent something to stop Hercules again during his trials, and one of the things that got in the way was a little crab and got. So Hera, kind of like looking towards that poor little crustacean that got squished, kind of gave it some nobility for, hey, at least tried. But because she was so distasted with it, she was like, okay, how am I going to remember you? Well, I got to put you somewhere. I'm going to put you in that void over there. And there's where the sign Cancer came from. But I kind of like this variation instead. There was a festival that mankind was having, and they invited Hera to come attend. Hera, receiving the invitation, was honored, and she was so happy to be invited, so she decided to go towards this event. She sits on her throne, taps twice, and the throne goes right through the clouds, and she's just sitting and she's going down to the earth. As she's going, not knowing, below on the surface, there's a crab just chilling, minding his own business, and all of a sudden, squish! The throne squishes the poor thing, and his little pincher is just hanging out from underneath the chair, twitching. She gets up, dusts off, and then she looks down and she sees the crab's grasper thing, I can remember what that called, just twitching, and she just gets mortified that she just killed this poor little thing. Feeling so heartbroken that she killed this poor defenseless creature, she picked it up and just threw it up into the heavens as an apology. And that's actually one of my favorite stories with Hera. Then there's also the story about the golden apple, then, Hera offering a kingdom and being because of the Trojan War, since Aphrodite won that one. There was that tale too, but pretty much the idea with Hera is that she's a goddess who expects respect, things being in order, and pretty much understanding that one has to be on their best behavior. One has to abide by their responsibilities. They have to pretty much be attentful in the home, and also be respectful towards women or spouse figure. So, we'll get into some of the specifics now. For me, whenever I go towards that little statue of her, I always call my queen. That's it. I don't call her anything else. I mean, I'm calling her by her real name because that's her name, but I always go my queen. No questions asked. That's it. Always that. Because that's addressing her in a respectful manner. And I mean, that's how she wanted me to pretty much call her. If you were going to go towards her in a way that's not orderly and pretty much keeping in mind that she is a royal figure, a queen, going towards her like any other person, she would most likely respond with, "You think I'm a peasant? No. Out!" As well, Hera does not like people who cannot respect unionship. For an example, say if you're with somebody and you have Hera as a goddess of yours, you're working with her, okay? You cheat on the person you're with, Hera will come after you. She will come after you, and she will scold you bad. Same thing likewise. If you're with somebody and they go behind your back, Hera will go after them. And it doesn't matter if it's the same gender couple or a different gender couple. Does not matter. Hera does not put up with two-timing BS. She does not do it. She doesn't put up with it. As well, she expects your living situation in your home or your space for her to be clean and upkept and have attention drawn to it. And if you have flowers, which the best for her would be white lilies or any white flower, pretty much any white flower. She's somewhat simple, but not really. And she expects to have the flowers that are like dead to be changed, the water to be changed, everything just to be upkept and cleaned. You don't, she's gonna scold you. What else we got? If you have children and you work with Hera, you have to understand that if you don't discipline your children and you don't teach them and you don't caretake after them, she'll still come after you. She is known to be a goddess of the home and motherhood. You don't do the responsibility of a parent, whack. What else we got here? She, as well, expects that if you're going to be having any kind of guests over, to show hospitality. You don't show hospitality or consideration, well, once they leave, whack. When you have a goddess of the home, that's one of their focuses. You have to pretty much be of service to your guests and make your living space presentable. If you don't do that, well, not much of a attractive place that Hera wants to go. She's probably just going to keep scolding you and say, "My, are we in the dump? Are we in the sewer? Where are we? Oh, you really think a queen deserves to be here in this filth?" Mm-mm. Now, moving on to corresponding energies. We'll start with planetary. First, most corresponding planet is the moon. Why? Divine feminine, 1. 2, divine mother. Moon is the mother figure. And despite, if you're going to be chiming in saying, well, she's not that much of a divine mother if she takes one of her kids and doesn't want it because he's deformed. She's still a mother. That child still came out of her. That makes her a mother. Still a mother. But as well, you can also say not only just moon, but in a way, you can also point towards Venus for love, and that's a marriage. But also, which I believe would be her best second pick, Saturn. Why Saturn? Restriction, boundary, being disciplined, to have self-control of yourself, to not stick it elsewhere, 1. Pretty much consequence of one's actions. And devotion, because usually traditional marriage is a devotion with 2 people. Devotion. Saturn's a devotion planet. It sticks and it commits to something. As well, I do know that there's also an asteroid named Juno that's used in astrology. I'm not going towards that because I don't look at that. I don't consider that with anything. So sorry about that one. Plants. Well, white lilies, that's her flower, as well as irises, that's another one. White roses. But as well, I'm starting to also take in the consideration of oleander. Why that thing? Well, oleander. Not only is it a toxic plant, but it's beautiful. If you're not respectful and take your time and be mindful of that plant, smack. What about her? She's a queen. You're not respectful or mindful towards her. Whack. Same thing. It's that idea of beauty yet respected. Gemstones, crystals. I would have to say amethyst for royal, because it's a royal color, purple stones. Like Lysergite too. That's another one. Lapis lazuli is another one. Clear quartz, as well as morganite, because that's a stone that's used in engagement rings, and engaging is a commitment choice. Another one would be moonstone, rainbow, and the other one I can't think of it, but not really the black one, but still moonstone because, well, moon, planet, moonstone. Let's see. Best day to work with her would probably be days Monday, if you're trying to like help anything regarding to women's health, women's standing, pretty much self-confidence, beauty, caretaking to the home, healing because a mother is a healer, but also teaching because mother is a teacher figure. As well, you could in a way also have the idea of using Friday too for that marriage aspect, the cupcake aspect of marriage, like the honeymoon stuff. But as well, you can most freaking definitely also have Hera on Saturday for that restrictive and the part. Another fun fact. Hera is a triple goddess, if you didn't know that. There is maiden, mother crone. To Hera, it's bride, wife, or mother, widow. That's her triple line. So, not using, because this one you don't use any of them. The best kinds of workings you can be doing with Hera, or you may petition her for help if you actually work towards her and you gain her assistance. Because for her, if you need her help, you have to put effort towards her. If you don't put effort towards her, she's just, no. You put forth the effort. The best kinds of workings that you can do for her is, well, one, obviously, have your person that you're dating, married to, or engaged to. You can petition her help to have to, your partner to, get in line and lay a smackdown on them. You can also ask Hera to help in finding a better home or providing the means to sustain your family and keep the home in a manner of peace. Another tidbit I forgot about. Hera, if there's any kind of domestic violence that's going on within the home, Hera will not have it. Trust me, she will not have it. Because in the home, it's supposed to be a place of peace, serenity, comfort, and just relaxation. It's not it's not a battleground. And if say that there's someone beating on another person, right there, right then and there may not be something that may not happen there, but later down the line, there's going to be a big major upset that she's just going to chime in and just be, and she hits hard. I have seen how between two people that were married, I have seen how hard she has hit, well, not literally hit, but like how she's gone in backlash towards a man, negatively affecting a woman intentionally. I have seen it in front of me happen. Pretty bad. She smacks hard. So, if you're having Hera and you're working with Hera, and if you're dating somebody, you need to respect that partnership. Respect it, be mindful, and be like a partner, not someone who can have somebody else be a punching bag. That's not, no. As well, Hera's biggest focus is to actually respect the conservative idea of a unionship. If say if one was to go and start to have a more open commitment, but still be with one person, like devote to one person, but they both mutually agree that's okay to go outwards with more, it doesn't matter what those two think. Hera's still going to be mad because you're pretty much disrespecting what she's about, which is that conservative one-on-one devotion. Even if it's no harm, no foul between the two, she's still going to retaliate. You have to keep that in mind. Working with an entity, regardless of how long, if you don't respect what they're about, they're not going to like it. They're not going to have it because you invested with them. And with your investment, you're showing them and telling them that, hey, I respect this aspect of you, and I respect what you have pretty much mastered, and I want to appreciate it by following your example. Then to have it be flipped like that, that's like having a deity and then you slap him in the face. Which that's a big no-no. Especially Hera, Talk about, have all the Olympians chase after you for do that. Now, regarding her, altar placement, I would say keep it in the colors of white, purple, blue, a little bit of green, and some light blues. If you're able to actually get an image of her, or like what I have, and actually have it in the middle, raised up a little bit, kind of like if she's on a throne, and if you actually have it set up to look like if she was on a throne in Olympus, that will most fit her. Another thing you can put on there, white lilies, again, white roses, anything that is white, like a white flower, because bride wears white when she gets married, and Hera's a bride in the triple aspect for the maiden. Peacock feathers you can also put on there too, even an image of a peacock too, that'll work too. If you're going to be having an image of her, like mine, if you're going to give her something, make it like as royalty and as valuable looking as you possibly can. Because that actually shows that, hey, my queen, I got you this very pricey necklace or whatever it is. And for her receiving that will pretty much appreciate that you understand that if you're going to be giving a queen something, you give her the best you can give. Not just a simple, like in Hell's case, Hell doesn't give a crap what you give her. She just doesn't care. Hera, you give her, like say if I was to give her one of my, say if I was going to give her like a very cheaply made like necklace or a chain or whatever, like it's not like it rusts. She's just gonna go, really? Really? You better start running, kid, before I have Argus sit on your face. You have to be giving your best towards a divine like that, in royalty and pretty much being a queen figure. Now, Another animal, some animals that she's close with. Cow, for one, because that's a nurturing mother, and Hera's a mother figure, and she's mostly associated with it. Well, obviously the peacock. There's another animal that was on the top of my head. I cannot remember what it was. But either way. Now, with working with other divines, Hera, it usually depends on who it is. Because, say for example, well, we'll take Hel and Hera. Hel, obviously simple. Hel doesn't give a crap about nobody. She just is there. Doesn't give a crap. Hera may be a bit, my, aren't you looking under the weather? What's it to you, pigeon? My, such a ferocity. Stick it. Yeah, that's just how that interaction may go down. But Hera as well is actually a very good protector of your home and your unionship if you have one. So if that's something you seek and if you're able to put in the work and effort to maintain it, she is a phenomenal goddess to have in your court and work with. Because not only will she protect what's valuable to you, which could be a unionship between you and somebody else, but as well go to the other person that you're sharing it with and whack them one. And my voice cracked, but still I digress. Give them a good whack and keep them in line and scold them. Because to her, nobody's safe if that idea of unionship is not respected. Nobody's safe. No one. And it needs to be upheld respectfully. So, that was my little bit on working with Hera. And I decided to just put it all in one instead of like it be all multiple segments because that would take a while and I get distracted easy. So, next up, we're going to be having Aphrodite next.